So I was a virgin until I was 21 years old, and it deeply bothered me because I saw my friends and my roommates hooking up with girls, telling all these stories of these crazy experiences that I so badly wanted to have. And at the end of the day, it made me feel less than. It made me feel like I was less than a man than all these other dudes. And look, I'm not saying that every man needs to hook up with 100 women or you're a simp. But hookups can be fun. They can help you understand women better. They can help you gain confidence. At the same time, they can be a distraction. If you're pursuing them above all other priorities in your life, they can distract you from leveling up, from making more money, from becoming a higher level dude. Your body count is not the measure of how much of a man you are. It is just a number. That all being said, before I got to the point that I was sexually confident and I knew I had the ability to make things happen with a girl if I wanted to, I was too afraid before that to even take the first step to approach the girl, to try and ask her out, because in the back of my head, man, the messed up thing was I was more afraid of success than failure. I was more afraid that it might actually work and I might actually end up with a girl in my bedroom and then I wouldn't know what to do and I would be so ashamed and so disappointed in myself if that happened that I'd rather not even try. So I get it if you don't want to hoe yourself out. Maybe you do want to hoe yourself out. That's fine if you want to. Maybe not the best life decision, but the point is, I do think this is a skill that every man owes it to himself to learn and to become competent at. So look, in this video, what I'm going to do is give you the power to have options in your sex life. You get to decide how you use that power. Step 1, understand how hookups work. For me, it used to seem impossible, like it was this fantasy that maybe I'd be in a room by myself with this attractive girl who also wanted not just to be there with me, but to actually hook up and get intimate with me. It didn't seem like real life, bro. And part of it was my lack of experience. Part of it was porn, if I'm being honest. I think when we get so used to watching other people perform this act on a screen and it turns into like this dirty, ashamed habit that we have, it makes it feel even less likely to happen in our life. And I know from working with a lot of guys that a lot of men feel this way. It feels out of reach. But here's what you gotta realize. Even if you take things like looks, money, status, all of these things out of the equation, things that are important and do help you, attract women easier and attract a higher level of women. But even if you take all those things out of the equation, the process of hooking up with a girl is still the same thing for every dude. And once I finally understood this process, even early on in my journey when I was a very rough product, my looks were not leveled up yet. Sure, I was hitting the gym. I didn't have any money yet. My haircut still sucked. Even at that point in time, I was able to consistently hook up with different girls. And maybe they weren't 10 out of 10 Instagram models that you're lusting over all day, but they were attractive women who I genuinely was attracted to. Step 2, the process. So let's do it right now. Let's run through the exact process. The beginning of this may seem a bit familiar, like, oh, I already know that, bro, but you need to understand the full picture here. So the first step is always an initial conversation. And this could be you approaching a girl at the gym or the grocery store, or it could be matching with a girl on a dating app and initiating a conversation. Without that step, nothing is ever gonna be possible. You're not just magically going to appear in the bedroom with a girl. The second step is to get the contact information. So if you're talking to a girl, the easiest way to do this is just to say, hey, you seem like a cool girl. Do you wanna hang out sometime? If she says yes, just hand her your phone with the phone screen open, have her put her contact in. Third step is figuring out the logistics. And I used to fuck this up because I'd get a girl's number and I'd be so giddy and excited that I would just try and send her witty text messages to get a response back. That's not the fucking point. That's why I created a rule for myself that after 3 or 4 texts, I would set up the logistics of the date. Easiest way to do this is to send a quick text that says, are you free Wednesday or Thursday night? Replace that with 2 days that you're free, obviously. Then you suggest the time and the place is important. You want to set it up at a spot that is near your house or your apartment, or if you're living with your parents, near her house or her apartment. If y'all are both living with your parents, well, bro, it's time to prioritize, building the financial resources to move out and live on your own, because otherwise you're not going to figure this part of your life out. Then you have to show up to the date and run the date in a way that at the end you can ask the girl, hey, I'm having a good time. Love to keep this going. Do you want to come back to my place, hang out, listen to some music? And I used to always be so afraid to say this because I was like, it's not going to work. She's going to be so uncomfortable that I'm asking her back to my place. Oh my God, this is awful. I can't do this. And I would never ask girls back to my place. I promise you, bro, practice it in the mirror before you go on the date. It really is as simple as saying those words. Hey, look, I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying getting to know you. Do you want to come back to my place? Keep it going. Listen to some music, maybe have a drink. Believe it or not, girls enjoy sex as well, and they will say yes a high percentage of the time. This is how it works. This is a repeatable process that honestly I repeated more times in my past than I'm proud to say, because it works so well. And I see guys in my Beast Dating coaching program doing this shit all the time as well. It's not just for me. And by the way, if this is a part of your life that you're struggling to figure out right now, and you truly feel that if you could just finally start to attract the types of girls you want, you'd be so much more confident in every other area of your life, then I am here to help with the Beast coaching program.
I've not even done the full program yet, so there's definitely even room to grow from here, but I've got like a handful of situations where I've gotten lucky and just kind of like hit the home runs off the bat. But also while I'm traveling, pretty much every trip that I've taken, I've been able to find a girl to spend time with, ultimately close a deal with.
I didn't know when and where I was going to get a date or if it was going to work out. Now I do. I'll just mention the last couple weeks, 3 weeks, 4 dates, some hookups. I'm currently dating a girl. I think it's a 4th date.
Over the past few years, we've helped hundreds of men just like this to finally have this skill. Not just try and get lucky once or twice, but finally have the skill to be able to make things happen with an attractive girl and finally consistently date the types of women that they really want. If you want to learn more, see more testimonials, and apply now, you can go to beastcoaching.com or click that first link down in description. Step 3 is awkwardness. So the night that I lost my virginity was the night of my 21st birthday, actually. And this girl who was in my economics class, she came back to my apartment with me and we started hooking up. And what happened was, as we were changing positions on these little skinny dormitory beds, I was like stepping over her and she kneed my balls by accident. I went soft and that was the end of it. And it was honestly something I was so like embarrassed and ashamed of, that it wasn't a good experience for me and for her, that I didn't even try again to bring a girl back for at least like a year and a half after that. And the point is, this is a new skill that you're going to have to learn and build confidence in. You don't just step on a bicycle the first day and start doing triple backflips. That's not how life works, right? So understand that every man out there who's had a fair share of hookups has also had a fair share of awkward hookups. I promise you. So really, you should almost expect it to be awkward at first and be ready to forgive yourself and not hate yourself afterwards. Sex brings everyone's insecurities to the top, not just men, but women as well. They're very self-conscious about their body and how you're looking at them, and it can create an awkward environment sometimes. For a lot of guys, until you get that first girlfriend locked down, until you're able to repeatedly perform this act with her, that's when you'll probably finally build a high level of confidence with it. But until then, be easy on yourself, man. It's not that big of a deal. Be able to laugh about it afterwards. Step 4, build the skill. So because of YouTube, I got to keep this relatively PG-13, not to get canceled, but I do want to give you the tool set so that when you walk into the bedroom, you're ready to make it a great experience and actually feel confident for yourself and for the girl. So the most important thing, and you've probably heard this before, is to be dominant. And it's not only because that's something that's going to turn the girl on, but it's because it's also something that's going to turn you on and make you feel very masculine and confident in that environment. And the easiest way to do this is just not to ask, not to say,
hey, could you maybe, change positions? Maybe we should try that position out.
Instead, to tell, and not to do it in a demeaning way, but to say, hey, move over here. Hey, position yourself like that. Let's do this. Also, when the girl's doing something that you like, say, hey, I like that. I really enjoy that. If she's doing something you don't like, say, hey, do it like this instead. And obviously, if a girl sets a boundary at any point in time or tells you no, that she doesn't want to continue or she doesn't want to do something, always respect her boundaries. And the final piece of the puzzle is just accepting your worst fear. This is something I've realized is so key in every aspect of life, because if I'm starting a new business venture, for example, in the back of my head, I'm like, but what if it flops and I lose a bunch of money? Eventually I have to accept that and say, hey, you know what? It's okay if it flops and I lose a lot of money. I'll bounce back, because otherwise the whole time I'm going to be operating from a state of fear rather than a state of confidence. Then it's more likely that the business venture does flop and lose a lot of money. So in the bedroom, for me, it was ED. Sometimes I couldn't get it up and I would always be worried that was going to happen. Maybe for you, you're afraid you're going to finish too quickly.
Oh God, I am so sorry. You're just so pretty.
Whatever it is, accept it that, hey, if this happens and I don't get up, it's okay. It's not a big deal. I'll be able to deal with it. Because once that happens, once you can truly accept that, it actually diminishes the chance of it happening because you've become to peace with that outcome. Otherwise, I promise you, because I've been there, and if I'm telling myself, I hope it doesn't happen this time, hope it doesn't happen this time, hope it doesn't happen this time, well, guess what? It fucking happens that time. So there you have it, bro. The biggest danger, and I know this because I've been in your shoes, is to remystify this in your brain and to remake it seem like this strange mystery. The whole point of this video is to understand that this is a very tangible, repeatable process, and once you understand it, it should remove that mystery and that power that it has over you. Again, that doesn't mean to hoe yourself out and prioritize sex above everything else. I don't think that's the right way to go, but it should not be this dark force that's making you feel like shit about yourself. You need to understand it. You need to be able to execute it if you want to, and that should bring a whole lot of confidence and just inner belief in yourself. That being said, another very important thing to understand is what you need to do when a woman ignores you, which is why I recommend you watch this video next. Women love to play games and play hard to get, and if you don't know how to respond in these different situations, you're going to lose the girl. So click there to watch that next, and if you're new to the channel, click down there to subscribe, because I drop 2 new videos every single week, and you don't want to miss them. I'll talk to you in the next video. Stay beastly.